I look at it as actually being the market sales blend for your company. So it's looking at the sales methodology you're going to need to use to reach your market and the marketing methodology you're going to need to use to reach your market, and what percentage of sales and marketing you're actually going to need for your business. And this actually really comes into the piece around founder selling, because they're going to understand how to reach their market and how difficult or easy it is and how receptive their market is to the message or product that they're delivering. So if you look at selling, there's really, I see three core types of selling. There's insight selling, which is a relatively new form of selling that CEB has formed around the challenger sale and this methodology called CHAMP, which is challenging your customer to think differently about their business. It's more of an outbound direct sale. And so from a marketing standpoint, you're going to look at methodologies that are directed at direct communication with your customer. So thought leadership and forcing and speaking events and really getting your customer to think differently about their market overall. Then there's the consultative solution sell. This plays into a market that's typically already has some other companies in it. It's a bit more competitive. It's going to have a blend between inbound sales and outbound sales. So with that, you're going to be looking at pulling some leads in from the market. So there's going to be a bit more heavy market and marketing activities. So more outbound marketing, thought leadership, SEO, SEM pieces associated with that. And then there's transactional selling, which is very heavy marketing and low touch sales. So if we look at the marketing blend, they're going to be making up a much larger percentage than, say, an insight sale. A low touch, heavy marketing sale is going to be anyone who has a freemium, premium business. There's usually a blend within organizations. So I can mention Pantheon, for example. Pantheon has a freemium model for their business. They also have a mid-market solution. They also have an enterprise solution. And when you look at the blend between those three, you can look at the freemium solution as a way to actually draw in leads. And then as customer behavior starts to indicate the size of an opportunity, you then engage a salesperson in that opportunity. And it can be a higher touch if you're going into enterprise and a custom solution and a custom sell versus, a mid-market solution. You're going to be looking at a little bit simpler sell, thought leadership. It can include a mix of the three, but certain businesses will be all enterprise. Certain businesses, if you're dealing with a custom solution, an ERP solution, a high cost deal, you're going to be dealing with much larger customers, much longer sales cycle. And typically there's not going to be a freemium option for that because you're doing something custom for your customer. But there are businesses that will include all three. If you look at the overall funnel for the sales marketing funnel, there's monthly unique visitors on your website. So it's the people who are coming in and visiting your website. Then there's the form fill, which is going to be the marketing qualified leads. From there, it's where the salesperson actually is going to come into play. So they're the sales accepted leads. So they're saying, yeah, this is, marketing says, yes, it's our target market, but then I'm going to take a closer look and say, you know what? This actually is a part of my market and this fits really well, and then they might be ready to buy. Then from there, you're going to look at a sales qualified lead. So this is actually going to be the qualification process where the salesperson is going to have a conversation directly with that customer and understand their needs. Then there's the demo. There's might be a nurturing process, negotiation, and a close. For a transactional sale, you may have a freemium product. You may have a free trial, or you may have a low-cost product where they can just sign up. And for each of these, you're really going to want to be focusing on mass market lead development. So you're going to be looking at low-cost ways to reach your customer. So specifically in a transactional sale, you're going to be looking at SEO. You're going to be looking at SEM. You're going to be looking at various content plays that you can do, potentially social media if that's something your market responds to, and the various forms of social media that your market will respond to. Also, potentially thought leaders within your market, developing those relationships so they can help you push your market out or push your product out to market. Typically, with a mid-market, you're going to be looking at a product that or a market that already exists. So you'll be looking at like a marketing automation is a perfect example. So there's a number of companies that are coming into the marketing sales automation space. So it's a market that already exists and has been established. And when I say marketing automation, people know what I mean. When I talk about the mid-market, it's relatively competitive. So you're differentiating yourself from other solutions within the market. So you're looking at ways where your customers are, so potentially conferences are a really great way to reach those customers. White papers to talk about why your solution's different. You are going to be looking at an inbound and outbound sales strategy where, for example, when we talked about transactional sales, there it is not necessarily as oriented towards a competitive sell, and it's going to be much more inbound with a smaller portion of sell. And we look at with that mid-market, you're looking at a much closer blend of sales when when doing inbound versus outbound. Then when we look at some other pieces that can come into play is those white papers that I was talking about, case studies, a lot of content development within that space because you're really trying to differentiate yourself. So the go-to-market strategy for Insight Sales is going to be much more oriented towards a direct customer relationship. So you're going to be doing field marketing, things where you can, opportunities in which you can get in front of your customer for that one-on-one conversation. So there's the field marketing. You also are going to want a lot of white papers within this space. Speaking events can be really important in an Insight sale because it is challenging the customer to start thinking differently about the market and how it could actually impact their business. Building out lists specifically and what your target market looks like within the Insight sales space, because you're going to have a smaller set of customers that you can actually reach with an Insight sale than you are with a mid-market sale or a transactional sale. So when you look at those and how you're defining your target market, it's actually really important.